Hello, my name is Jessica Millar, and I'd like to share with you some research that I've done in the area of data-based leadership using data to promote student achievement. Throughout the course of my research, I found some great sources with information about how to effectively use data in the educational setting. One source I'd like to point out in particular was very user-friendly, and it is called Creating Data Reports Using Longitudinal Data: How States Can Present Information to Support Student Learning and School System Improvement. This report was compiled by the Data Quality Campaign, which is an organization that is committed to improving quality data use in all 50 states. The first bit of information that I gained from this report are the types of data that are available. First, we look at student snapshots. This is just looking at a student's performance at a particular point in time. This report promotes the use of longitudinal data as opposed to student snapshot data because it allows you to identify trends over time, or basically track learning gains. Within longitudinal data, we can look at it at the student level, which is just one particular student, or at the aggregate level, where we're looking at groups of students. This could be a school group, or it could be a class group, or within a certain teacher's assignments. Of the forms of longitudinal data, there is formative and summative data. Formative data is data that we can use during the educational process. Formative data can be used by teachers to adjust their instruction and determine the differentiated needs of students within their classroom. Formative data can be done through informal teacher assessments, or it can be done at the district level through benchmarks. At the district level, we can also use this to determine, are our teachers teaching the designated curriculum at the appropriate pace to cover all the course materials? Summative data is another form of longitudinal data, and this looks at students' performance on standardized tests or end-of-course exams. It gives us a picture of how effectively they retained or mastered the information that they were taught in a course. Summative data can allow us to track student progress over time. It can also allow us to identify teacher effectiveness. And a report in particular that is a diagnostic report of summative data will actually further break that information down into content areas, which will allow us to identify specific strengths and weaknesses of the students testing, as well as strengths and weaknesses of the teachers delivering that instruction. Beyond this, there is another additional form of data that without it, we really don't have the whole picture on student performance, and that is attendance and discipline data. We find that sometimes you look at students and they're capable of learning, the teachers are effective, and yet the students fail. And we often find the answers to those types of questions in attendance and discipline data. If we're missing lots of school, even the most effective interventions are not going to reach those students. Or if we have consistent discipline issues and students are losing seat time due to in-school or out-of-school suspension, that's a problem that needs to be addressed. On top of that, sometimes it just gives us insight into changing school procedures. In some research I did that looked at specific school districts and how they use data to guide what they did, we found that if they had a very high rate of student discipline incident in a specific area at a specific time, simply increasing or changing supervision of that area could prevent the problem altogether. In total, I was incredibly impressed by the amount of information and the type of decision making that can be made through the use of quality analyzed data.